What's up, all you amazing people out there in internet land? I've got with me today, well, first off, I'm Sean. Candido's here with us today as usual, and Mr. Mark, Marky Mark and the funky loan approval bunch. I don't know. That didn't
Good.
play as
I mean,
well.
off the cuff, that was fine.
Off the cuff, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Guys, we are officially over the hill today. We are officially over the hill. This is episode 40. We are 40, and we're excited, man. I know we've got a fantastic show. Candido, Mark, how you guys doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, for sure. I think it's been a pretty decent week.
All
right.
Pretty good. I'm all right.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm good. It's the sun is shining after I don't know, 3, 4, 5 straight days of rain here in the Northeast. So again, how could you not be in a good mood?
Awesome. I feel like
always
you're gonna get sunburnt on one side of your face in that.
It happens.
It's good. It's good. Well, I'm doing well as I'm doing fantastic today. It's going to be an amazing day. Excited. We got a pretty awesome show lined up for today. But before we get into that, let's start off with wins and losses. Mark, kick us off today.
Gotcha. I'll tell you what, wins were I had more applications this week than I usually do. Losses were none of them were really that good. So we're gonna put the wins and the losses in the same fell swoop. But in all honesty, my big win was just communicating with past clients this week. Really motivated me from a conversation that the three of us had on Thursday. But what I've been doing is having conversations with clients and just asking them, is this your forever home? Do you plan to move at some point? And I'm going to date our episode here, but rates are higher than they have been, right now than they had been in the previous 5 years. So I've been getting a lot of people. I've been getting a lot of people that say, yeah, I do want to move. So we've been creating plans, long-term plans. And I've been telling them that we've already committed to the payment that they would like to have whenever they're out there. And we've come across a good rate target for them to actually put the for sale sign in their yard and move into the new home, which I think I've done with pretty good accuracy. I guess time will tell. But I had 3 conversations last week with people that didn't actually apply with me, but now have a game plan where we both know when they're going to apply and when they're going to get that movement going. So that's my win, and I think it's a pretty powerful one.
Sweet. Candido, man, wins, losses. Mark likes he doesn't have a lot of losses. Mark's a winner all the time, and I like that. But what you got for us, Candido?
Yeah. So let's I always lead with the negative because I like to end with the positive. So the negative, I had a loan at risk of EPO. Look, it's that. It's the rate environment that we're in. It's going to happen. I think we came up with a plan to ultimately save it. But, it's not something that just I'm going through. It's going to be something that a lot of people go through, especially for the next upcoming months as rates continue to go down. So that was my negative. That's what I was planning on saying until this morning while filming content. I almost got attacked by a hawk. That's not like the bird, not, for your mind's out of the gutters. Yeah. Not the internet sensation. A real live hawk was actually circling me from, I don't know, 100 feet above while I was shooting some content this morning. So I'm going to put that as a loss.
Like fly at you, like almost hit you, like was
no. So as I post the video, you might see like little feathers or something. I don't know if he was eating or what, but there was something coming down on me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. He was not going to the bathroom at.
We're losing.
Anyways, the positive. Actually, a little bit like Mark, I was speaking with a past connection this week and had could be potential to a new stream of leads and clients for me. So all from just connecting with a past connection. So maybe there's a theme there that we should go with for today. I don't know. Sean, what do
Lots of theme there. Yeah, I'm gonna pull a Mark, and I'm gonna do only wins.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna go set up an only wins account. So only wins, only wins. So in about an hour and a half from now, I will be closing on another rental property for my portfolio. Very excited about that. This was just kind of a property that fell into my lap, jumped on it, and we're closing today. So super, super excited. And then equally as big of a win is last Wednesday, I had the opportunity and privilege to teach a class on Google Business to probably about 16 to 18 real estate agents at a title company. And it went phenomenally, had a ton of great engagement, been doing active follow-up with those agents. I've got several one-on-ones set up. It was a great group, and I'm looking forward to that becoming some great relationships going forward. So also another big win. Teaching classes, definitely in my wheelhouse, and I'm more and more realizing that I feel like that's one of my superpowers, and that went really well. So 2 phenomenal wins that I'm excited about.
Awesome. Fantastic. I just want to point out that beginning, during that wins and losses, Sean was abnormally funny today. And that's different. So we'll call that a win as well. You're just on a roll, buddy.
Every once in a while, even a blind squirrel catches a nut from time to time. So, all right. Well, Candido, you kind of hit the nail on the head, right? Like you were talking about
I normally do.
The the EPO that you kind of now have a solution for, and that's because rate environment has come down some over the past several months, and that's going to impact a lot of us, right? And there's a lot of messaging going around, whether it's the media, whether it's other people in our industry, loan officers, real estate agents. There's a lot of messaging. People are trying to capitalize on small decreases in rates generating business, and there's some good to that, but the downside is that it may put homeowners in a position to potentially try to refinance at a smaller gain, a smaller benefit than they might otherwise do so. So with that being said, we wanted to chat about getting out ahead of it and staying in front of our past clients. So, guys, what I was thinking for today is why not talk about just, although we all kind of know the importance of staying in front of our past clients and maybe some ways that we can easily do that. What are your thoughts? So Candido, let me kick it over to you. Kind of talk a little bit about, why that's so important. And then what are some ways that you actively stay in front of your past client database?
Yes. So as the sun starts to shine over here again, yeah. I mean, for me, there's a lot of different things that we can do. I did want to start off by saying I think it's extremely important, and I don't want to get too far off topic, to make sure that you're on top of everything going on right now. Right. So realistically, you should be getting some sort. If you're not diving into the market every single day, you need to be watching the MBS Highway, Hammer Helmer. There's a lot of things that are out there where you can stay up to date, and I just think that's important because, especially right now, given everything that's going on, literally things are changing by the hour, by the day, by the week. So it's extremely important to stay on top of everything. And I think those couple of resources are fantastic. I also like to listen to Housing Wire and Logan Matashami, but just kind of wanted to start off with that. For me,
real quick,
go
just to
ahead.
add a moment to that is like bookmarking websites that have mortgage and real estate, and then just spending a small amount of time on a daily basis, just doing some reading, right? Like just to your point, like I think that's really important as well.
For me, I don't love to read. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I get my news a couple different ways. I know I've kind of gone over. I know Mark doesn't read good either. Uh, but, I've gone over how I kind of go about my day. But every single morning while I'm working out, I listen to a podcast or I watched a podcast. And this morning happened to be Housing Wire. So I think it's so important to stay on top of what's going on right now. I know that doesn't necessarily have directly what to do with reaching out to past clients, but it really does as far as keeping them up to date and just knowing what's going on for yourself. So
Yeah, I think,
um,
Kenny, I think what you're trying to get across here is when you are reaching out to those clients, when you are having those conversations, it's got to be more than just want to buy a house, right? You got to be able to answer the questions. You got to be able to address the concerns that they're seeing on the news, that they're most likely not correctly understanding from the news or just straight out being told incorrect information. You need to be the person that they know, like, and trust to show them the right way. And if you say something that doesn't sound right and you can't back it up with actual information, it rings hollow a lot of times.
Right there, yeah. And especially right now with the news being the way it is, uh, you want to be able to differentiate yourself from all these other people in the industry, right? Well, you need to do that by staying educated. So that's something that I know I take pride in. And as far as different strategies for connecting and with past clients in my past database. I like to. This is going to shock you guys.
Use
I
social media.
I like to use social media. So, I find that some of my biggest advocates are past, not only past clients, but past agents and people within the industry that I've worked with. Those tend to be the people that share my content, that they tend to comment and like. And I think that's a huge win for me because guess what? I'm already doing that sort of content anyways. If I have people that are helping the algorithm and helping me, I think that's a win-win. So that's a key strategy for me.
Love it.
Cool,
Mark.
cool, right on. Those are all great points, Candido. Again, summing it up, knowing what you're talking about, having something to discuss that's, you know, that's relevant whenever you're reaching out to your clients is a really big thing. I mean, it's for me, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? I'm not sending out smoke signals. I'm sending out emails and I'm sending out texts and I'm actually making phone calls. Um, I'll send emails just on a regular basis. I'll send emails, right? Just to stay up on it. My CRM will tell me who's seeing them and who's not, and all that fun stuff. I'll shoot out a text. Honestly, short and sweet really works for me. So if it's you're short.
Sometimes sweet.
The just a short, sweet text. Boom. Hey, this is Mark Sullivan. Do you have time for a call this week? Hey, this is Mark Sullivan. I'm updating all of my clients on the real estate industry right now. Do you have time for a call this week? However you want to say it, whatever flows better for you or sounds more like you is good. I've been getting a lot of positive response. Like I said, I've had a lot of conversations this past week where people have actually gotten on the phone with me and we put together a plan of, hey, I'm not ready to move right now because the payment shock is too high for me to move at this time, but I would entertain it at this. And we would go through some scenarios of, hey, what if we did this instead? Pulling a Barry Habib and, what if we sold your house, we paid off all your debt? Could you stomach a higher housing payment if your overall debt stayed the same or was only about $200 from what you're paying now? Do you think you could stomach that and stay out of the credit card debt? Kind of situation like, well, yeah, I would totally move up to a bigger house. the house, the area my family wants to live in, if we can do that. I was like, well, usually you can say, yeah, well, you've got a lot of equity here. You don't have to always dump it all into your house, right? And that's a strategies for a different show, but just kind of show you how those conversations can go along. If you just ask questions, figure out what they want to do next, and figure out a solution for them. If it's no, I want to stay in this house forever, they don't have any debt, and they have a 2.5% interest rate. Awesome. Conversations over. You say, hey, I'm glad you're in such a great position. That's when you just say, hey, if you know anybody that needs help, I would be so thankful for an introduction to anybody that wants to buy a house, right? Those conversations can always turn into deals. Sean, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah. So two things that really came to mind, while listening to, your points is number one is creating a plan for our clients, right? And our past clients too, that's where we're advisors. We're not just transactors. So being there to help them devise a plan, I believe, and like you just articulated, is critical to garnering that past client loyalty. And the other aspect of reaching out to our past clients that's really important is being there when there's not a transaction to be had, right? Like if we're only reaching out, I mean, think about your friends, right? Think about all the people that you hang out with. If the ones that, and we all have these people, right? The ones that reach out to you only when they need something, how do we feel about that? Like, how does that make us feel, right? Like, oh, well, they just want something. Like, oh, you see their name on your phone. Oh, they're just calling because they need something, right? And so,
damn it, it's Mark again.
If we're reaching out to our past clients only when there's a transaction to be had, then that's exactly the connotation that they're going to associate with us. So then the question becomes, okay, well, if we're reaching out to them when there's not a transaction to be had, what does that look like? What does that sound like? What are some of the reasons that we're reaching out? And I want to say, Shane may have mentioned this on the Next Level Live last week, perhaps, or maybe it was Monday. But this is something that I've implemented in my business, which is an annual checkup for past clients. Is about a week before their anniversary, reach out and say, hey, just wanted to reach out and schedule your annual your annual housing checkup, your annual real estate checkup. And it's just like going to the doctor, right? Like you go to the doctor every year to make sure that your body is in good shape. You address any concerns proactively. And so there's no reason that we can't be doing the same thing with our clients for their housing and mortgage, especially whereas a lot of the clients that we've helped over the last 18 to 30 months have a higher interest rate, where we're reaching out proactively to not only give them updates on the market, to address a game plan about when it could make sense to start the refinance conversation, but to also make sure that we're covering additional pieces that aren't specific to a transaction. Candido, Mark, let me get your thoughts on this. If we were to reach out to our past clients and said, hey, I you've been in the home for 3 years now, and we've seen appreciation go up. You've paid a decent amount down on your home. Do you have a few minutes to chat about, if it makes, if it's possible to get rid of your PMI and reduce your monthly payment? Like, would clients appreciate that? Maybe kind of like,
I think so. I would try to throw in the idea of being able to save money, right?
So that's
you save on your monthly payment.
And that's an example of reaching out when there's not necessarily a transaction, right? Like obviously we could refinance and remove PMI if it made sense, but that's not always the case.
Right.
If they're in a conventional loan, they're in a good interest rate, and they can remove PMI because of appreciation, a refinance may not make sense. Alternatively, if we're reaching out and asking about what projects they have going on, right? Hey, are there any projects, financial projects that you're looking to accomplish, and connecting them with the right people? Like if every time that we're reaching out to clients, we are providing value, we're connecting them with a CPA, we're connecting them with a financial advisor, we're connecting them with somebody else to help them with some projects. Maybe it's a landscaper, maybe it's a general contractor. Now we've got to do this in a careful way, right? Like we can't be like, use this person, but we can definitely say, hey, I've got some great people that I can connect you with. I highly encourage you to do your own due diligence to make sure that you're happy moving forward with, anyone that you choose to move forward. We got to have the right verbiage, got to make sure that we kind of protect ourselves there. But if we're constantly providing them resources and value and not just, let me send them a postcard every month with the latest recipe on it or something like that, then they're going to be eager to pick up our call. If we train them that every time they pick up the phone when we call, or anytime we email them, or anytime we text them, we're providing them something of value, they're going to be more eager to receive that communication. So I think those are some really great kind of concept or mentality to have going into those conversations. Quickly, some of the ways that we can reach out, I think monthly email communication can be good, maybe in the form of like a monthly newsletter to our past client database. Obviously, you want to curate that well so it's not fluff. It's got to be valuable. Periodic calls, annual mortgage or real estate checkups. Doing social media, Candido, leveraging social media and leveraging social media in offline. And we talked about this before, right? Like leveraging social media and offline content. So maybe you start sending out a monthly newsletter, and then in the newsletter, you have your, you have a video, you have a social media video, a link to a social media video that you did with a market update. So now you're driving people from a monthly newsletter to your social media, growing that following. You have multiple strategies that are working together, all connecting with your past clients. I don't know, guys, what are some of your thoughts on any of that?
My big takeaway was real quick. You're telling me that they don't like my chicken cacciatore recipe?
Nobody does.
Yeah, no, they're vegan, Mark. All of your clients are vegan. They won't like that.
Gotcha. That's really not extremely common in rural Tennessee, but whatever.
Meat. Candido, you have to say something, man.
So I would say, look, have fun with it. It's always easy to reach out to the past clients that you have good rapport with. But it's one of those things where, for me, if you go back into the collective archive, when I first attended an event, I actually showed up with a cardboard, with my idea of having a cardboard cutout. So came up with a whole marketing plan around the idea of a mortgage checkup. I dressed in like a doctor's type attire, and we kind of went with it. People were taking pictures with the cardboard cutout. It got the conversation going, which is what any sort of marketing, that's the whole goal. So, it doesn't always have to be something so stuffy. You want to try and have fun with it. Give an excuse for people to pick up when you call, to return your text messages, or to try out the chicken cacciatore recipe when you send it to them.
Well, and I'll throw this out there, and for those tuning in, whether you're watching us live or watching us the replay, whether you're a real estate agent or a loan officer, if you struggle and you're like, I don't, my section of past clients, like Candido said, the ones that you have good rapport with, those are easy to reach out to, right? You're just reaching out, you're catching up. How's life? If you struggle reaching out to your past client database that you don't have great rapport with, they're great people that you happen to help out into a home or with a refinance, but it's not something that you talk to them on a semi-regular basis. One of the simplest things that you can do is reach out and simply let them know that you're sorry for not connecting with them more often. And so let me explain. So Mark, I'll ask you, if somebody calls you and they apologize for something that they're saying that they did, but maybe you don't feel like it was a big deal, how would you receive that?
I would receive it fine. It would probably, if it's getting, I guess the job done there, because if it's somebody that I don't have a lot of rapport with and they're just giving me a call, even if I've worked with them before and I may not want to talk to them, and I may just blow them off. You start off with, "Hey, I apologize for not really reaching out to you." That might make me go, "Okay."
Hey, yeah. Hey, Mark, it's Sean over at Rate Mortgage. Hey, I was reaching out. I'm reaching out to just a handful of some past clients. I really just want to say I'm sorry. I apologize that I haven't done the best to my ability of staying in contact to make sure that I'm doing everything I can for you after the closing on your loan. And if I were to just stop there and you didn't feel like, okay, yeah, no big deal. What's like, I guess, what could we role play as the typical response? Oh yeah,
No, it's fine. Oh yeah, it's fine. Or I could lead you right into it, with I think a lot of people would, and just be like, "Oh no, that's fine. That's fine." What is there to do? We've already closed.
Right. And then I simply go into something like, hey, there's been a lot of talk in the market about changes and rates and all this stuff. And so I just wanted to reach out and kind of let you know what was going on in the market, because it's really easy to get confused at everything that's going on with the media and everything like that. Do you have 2 minutes so we could just catch up a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
And some people will say no. And I think some people will be like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And now it's a simple, quick way to kind of break the ice up front and not come across as, hey, I'm calling you because I want to see if there's anything I can do for you. Again, being there, like, lead with value. So even starting that conversation, it's like, hey, I just want to update you on what's going on in the market and see if there are any questions and make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to take care of you. Maybe you offer them, maybe you offer to connect them with somebody, right? Maybe you offer, you start asking them questions. The better questions we ask, the more we can bring value to people. So I think reaching out and just doing like a sorry and apology. Hey, my fault. I haven't been, I haven't done everything in my power to be, to stay in contact with you, let you know, to take care of you in the best way possible. I just want to let you know that I apologize for that. They're going to receive that extremely well. And then it's going to be a nice transition into, other parts of that conversation.
You are muted.
You're muted, Candido.
There we go. And Sean, no, I just wanted to say, I thought you made a great point there. The asking the questions is so important because you want to get them talking, right? But it's also to a point where you want to ask questions and then shut up and listen. But make sure you take good notes so that way, oh yeah, we just had a baby. Great. So you make note of that. And then, next time you speak with them, oh, how's the baby doing? Blah, blah. Hey, maybe that's a great time to bring up an estate plan, or do you have life insurance, different things like that. So you always want to ask the right types of questions to be able to keep the conversation going. And not only this conversation, but set up future conversations down the road. So I thought that was really well said.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're not talking to your past clients, somebody will be. If you're not talking to your sphere of influence, somebody will be. And whether it's setting up a refinance down the road or it's setting them up for their next purchase, being in constant contact with the people that already know, like, and trust you is where your money's going to come from. It's much harder to get new people to know, like, and trust you than keep people knowing, liking, and trusting you.
Yes. Customer acquisition cost is much higher than retention.
For sure.
For sure. Guys, I think we did a good job diving into connecting. Any other strategies, tools, resources that I think that you guys think it's critical to end with today?
No, I think it's pretty good. Stay in front of your people.
Stay in front of your people.
Communicate, whether you're in real estate, loan officer, whether you're, in auto insurance or whatever it is that brought you to us. Communicate. Always be communicating with somebody, whether it's on social media or it's on the phone. Talk to people. Find out what they want. Find out what they want and provide them with the value.
I love it. Guys, another show, episode 40 in the books. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Thank you if you're watching us on replay. Candido, Mark, I love getting together with you guys every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. I'm getting better at it. There we go. Until next week, take care.